Madin Mazimba, back again, and today I'll be giving you a new episode of the show, Top 5 Tracks. And on this episode, I'll be sharing with you my top 5 tracks from the late, great Soul Jah Love. Now, Soul Jah Love was definitely a generational talent. He was one of those guys whom you could not ignore, even if you wanted to. Even if you're not one of those people who was a fan of dancehall, but you just had to know there's someone called Soul Jah Love. His creativity, the way he just handled himself, you had to know him. He was one of those people who he qualified to be among those are my generational talents, those people which probably in our generation you're never going to see someone who would do it as much as Soul Jah Love did. He was just that exceptional, and his death was a big loss to the music industry as a whole in Zimbabwe. And for me, I'm still very much hurt whenever it hits me. Soul Jah Love is no more. I was such a huge fan of his music. For me, I definitely grew up with his music. When dancehall reached its peak in the 2010s, I had sort of entered my 20s. Now I was wanting to see Chishnobet clubs. I had to attend this show. I had to attend these shows. So in those shows, in those events, when Soul Jah Love was played a lot. He had a chain of mega hits. He had a chain of some big hits. He also had a chain of some very good tracks. So he was one of those guys who could create a track that would make the whole of Zimbabwe dance. He was just that talented. So trying to just pick my top 5, it was quite a hard task, because I managed to experience Soul Jah Love when he was still coming up. I managed to experience his music when he was at his peak. I managed to experience his music when he was past his peak. Unfortunately, when he passed away, he was sort of like past his peak, but he still had it in him. He could still create a very big track. But I managed to experience him in all these phases of his music career, and trying to just pick 5 tracks is quite a hard task. But I had to do it. So music as much as I can. When making these top 5 tracks, as much as you can try to listen to all the music that an artist has released, maybe some track after I read the list, after that publish, when you're watching this video, I get to hear this track, and it was probably a track going to be in my top 5, but it happens. The goal is not to create the most perfect video or the most perfect top 5, but just to create some good content which you can enjoy. So it happens when you're going to see some tracks. I'm human. So today I'm sharing with you my top 5 tracks from Soul Jah Love. So a lot of other tracks such as Sarah, because it's just 5 mashan, 5 mashoma. So a lot of tracks such as Sarah. Mami kuti mchatoshoka kublaza vasiya song kudzisi aitsingazimupenga tsingasiyei, but it happens. Kana usiri kuwira my top 5, I'm very much looking forward to see what your top 5 would look like. So go in the comment section, utomira kuti ndara top 5 yangu yakadai, so yenyu hai inonyazosimba sezvandoda. So without wasting much time, let's get to those 5. So the number 5 track is quite one of his last big hits, and that's the track Kanandafa. Now this track really creates a lot of emotions in me whenever I hear it. It's one of those tracks which panofamba ikangoridzwa nemitongo chabuda musodzi panonyasonibata kuti this guy is definitely gone. Such a talent, such a loss to us. I'm a huge fan of the arts industry. I just love uplifting the arts industry, and when such a great artist is lost, it definitely saddens me. And Kanandafa is one of those tracks all those emotions, they just sort of like summed up in that song. This guy was definitely a great artist, and I believe Kanandafa would definitely be like his Jemedza moment. James Shimombe, when he released Jemedza and he passed on, not long after he released that track, and a lot of people, they associate Jemedza with the life of the icon James Shimombe. Whenever Jemedza is played, this guy is sort of like you're sort of like forewarning us of what was coming. That's sort of like the same thing that Kanandafa does. Same with Tukudze, sort of like a similar moment when he released the track Mwea. And whenever you listen to that track, you just feel as if maybe he was sort of like forewarning here. Were in the spirit world, your journey is about to end. So you get that feeling. So this track will forever, be with the death of Soul Jah Love. Those are the memories that a lot of people are going to have. This guy this guy was truly a great artist. This guy was truly a generational talent. So for me, it definitely takes my number 5 spot. I'm a huge fan of this track. Now, number 4, there's the track Hobe Huru. Now, Hobe Huru, it's one of those tracks you could see. I'm in love with the intro of this track. I remember from the first time I listened to this track, and I went, chita ngoma ichita kunge chipansula inzwa inini ndopinda pachigorilla, and I was like, that track, the way it just started, it just swept me from the very first time I listened to it. And then I got to learn that there was another version of this track, the one with these very deep bass lines, and oh my word, I just fell in love more with this track. And that version, but I love both the versions, but the one with those deep bass lines, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks from Soul Jah Love, and it takes my number 4 spot. And on number 3, we have the track and Shabatika. Now, this is one of those tracks if someone is to ask me, okay, can you tell me how good was Soul Jah Love Kumberu? Someone who maybe has not during the time when he was alive. I think this is one of those songs which definitely captures all of his skills, all of his talents. And I remember after he passed, I read this sort of, I can say, eulogy by Awama Gaisa, and I feel up to now that is the best eulogy that I've seen written about Soul Jah Love. It was just so on point, and it captured a lot of feelings, and it just it solidified that this guy was a generational talent. Yes, he had his Achilles heel, but regardless of that, he was just on point. He was amazing. And as he described this track, and Shabatika, it's one of those tracks with the intro. It's just crazy. The intro can be a standalone song on its own. I remember the other day, Taindaku Club with a couple of my friends, and DJ Ratanga is this song, and before intro I have a song. I think I pull 10, but no one even noticed that was that drum got damn budget. And going to the lyrics, Soul Jah Love was at his peak when he released this track, and he was just celebrating. You could feel this person was taking the energy, engagements of from the fans. It's just a fantastic track, and it's definitely one of my favorite tracks from Soul Jah Love. And on number 2, with the track Pamamonya Papo, this one I could go on record and say this is Soul Jah Love's most successful commercial track. Akuna track yakatambiri kufura this track. Yes, I know he had other mega hits, but Pamamonya Papo, it was such a huge hit. It was such a huge hit that even churches could not ignore how big this track was. They had to integrate it kutopinza mapraise now. Even mafundis malines acho Pamamonya Papo vangwa kutomaparidza. That's how impactful this track was. It was so huge. I think commercial, I have to say, this is Soul Jah Love's biggest track. It was just one of those irresistible tracks. What he talked about, the production, the energy of that track, everything about that track was just on point. And for me, a personal experience with this track, I remember, I think it was in 2018, the beginning of 2018, January, with a couple of friends, we were going to Mtaraz Falls, and after tafura pakanzi Mtaraz Falls where a lot of people want to show my pictures, but was left talking to the falls. We just started playing this song, and on top of their lungs, on top of their voices. It was just crazy. Tanti were 5 motor, but a few on it is got a buzz the roof or run or wimba, but there were just 5 people. The Patgas of Shika Kune, those find wide lodges, and to Tandak to Kunyara, intensely but that we didn't care because we were just loving that song, because everyone was singing on top of their voices. It's just an amazing song. And then I just got to feel, you get to feel the energy that the track has, the impact that the track has. And Viper Up, this has been one of my favorite tracks from Soul Jah Love. Before we get to the big one, let me just scroll through some honorable mentions. Like I said, a number of tracks are going to be left out because this guy had a lot of tracks that I enjoyed, so I just had to pick 5. So Mama shouldn't regret. So on the honorable mentions, that's why we get tracks such as Dinuya, where I believe this was Soul Jah Love's first mega hit. It was a big track. It's one of those tracks I love from Soul Jah Love. There's Dai Upenyu Waitengo, there's a very emotional track from Chibaba. And another track we have is Andino Mudira. We have tracks such as John Terry. There's tracks such as Magetsi, Upenyu Iviri. I will mention many tracks, but I'll just end there. And now we get to the big one, number 1. And my favorite track from Soul Jah Love is the track Raul. Now this is a very, very powerful track. I'm a huge fan of this track. This track did not get to become a mega hit like maybe tracks like Pamamonya Pap and Tinyoyo Magets, but for me this is my personal favorite. And I remember when I first listened to this track, I think way back in around 2015, I had this YouTube channel where I would upload local music. Local music, so I'll just take music, SoundCloud, so I'll just take some tracks from SoundCloud, put it on YouTube, I enjoy. And this track, I can't go to upload. I didn't really give much listen or much thought to it. This is Soul Jah Love. Soul Jah Love are good. So basically, there are people going to love this track. So over some time, I used to do after a certain period of time, which are the tracks are doing, which are the most popular tracks on the channel over the past couple of months, past couple of weeks, and over the course of the placement of that channel, that track, it had the most views, but all the tracks are now Soul Jah Love, and I had a couple on that channel. I'm going to song. And I just listen to it once in then after some time, I know those analytics, and I got to see, this track is like many views. People are loving this track. Consistent, it was getting a lot of views per week, per day than any other Soul Jah Love tracks, even better than most tracks on that channel. And I'm then when I listened to this track, I was like, oh wow, this is very, very good track, and from then when the track grew on me, I just loved everything about it. From the intro, I just love from that, and the message from that track, Shauri, you could just be proud of who you are. God created you as you are, so just be proud of who you are. So I just became a huge fan of this track. Like I said, it grew on me year after year. Every time I listen to the track, I love the track more and more. And up to now, it is my favorite track from Soul Jah Love. Yeah, that's it for my top 5 tracks from Soul Jah Love. So I know a number of you are top 5 you're not going to comment section. I want to see my top 5 MMS. What was your favorite track from the late great Soul Jah Love? What was your favorite moment? And also another interesting thing, what was your favorite verse from Soul Jah Love? Which verse? I know he had a lot of iconic verses, but which one was your favorite verse from Soul Jah Love? After that, just come back, like the video, subscribe to the channel. See you again next time.